What up, y'all? It's your boy Bright, and I'm back again. On today's episode, I'm gonna be talking about Big K.R.I.T's new album, Forever Is a Mighty Long Time. Y'all ready? Here we go.
I got big bank chasing on a motherfucker, ain't shit chain, cause I'm still getting mine. Ain't no love for a hater tryna fly me, tryna play me, motherfuckers never stop my stop sign. Yeah, they see me, but they still watch. I got shining on rerun. I got shining on rerun. Yeah, they see me, but they still watch.
Yeah, what up, everybody? It's your boy Bright here, the R&B kid, and you're tuned into another episode of On the Bright Side. If this is your first time on my channel, please go ahead and click that like button, share this video, and subscribe to my channel, okay? On this channel, I talk all things music and entertainment. We'll always keep things positive, and we'll always find the bright side of everything. Okay, y'all, but all out the way now. Like I said, I want to talk about Big K.R.I.T's new album, Forever Is a Mighty Long Time. Big K.R.I.T released his album on October 27, 2017, and this is Big K.R.I.T's third studio album, but it's his first independent album, and he released it on Multi-Alumni and BMG Records. And, you know, this, I feel like with Big K.R.I.T, in my opinion, I think he's honestly one of the biggest rappers, not biggest rappers, he's one of the best rappers out. But I feel like he doesn't get his shine, he doesn't get his acclaim like that. But in my opinion, like, Big K.R.I.T is he's definitely my top 10, maybe even top 5. But there's something about him where I feel like he gets recognized and he gets love, and I feel like he's one of the best out, but it doesn't always feel like it. Like, I know he is, but it doesn't always feel like he's one of the best out. And that needs to change. Something needs to change with that, because Big K.R.I.T is one of the dopest rappers out, one of the hardest flows. He's always hungry. He makes great albums, but I feel like he just doesn't get always brought up in the conversation of hip-hop in terms of who's at their best right now, every time he comes out. But in my opinion, he's always one of the best, and I really hope that this album continues to push him into the into mainstream, because this album, we're gonna talk about it, y'all, but this album is a masterpiece. Okay, so on this album we got Big K.R.I.T producing most of the album, as he does usually, and that's something that a lot of people don't really realize, is that Big K.R.I.T produces most of his own albums. Like, talk about that triple threat. Bars for days, he can produce his own work, and now he's independent, so it's like it's about to go to a whole new level for him, which I'm so happy for him for. But people always forget that K.R.I.T be producing his own beats, like, and they're always fire. Come on, yo, come on. So Big K.R.I.T produced most of the tracks on this album. We also have DJ Camper, this dude called Willpower, who produced some great songs on this album. We got Manny Fresh, Super Mario, we got Organized Noise on the track. That was a cool track. We also got DJ Khalil. I love DJ Khalil. And we also got Robert Glasper and Terrence Martin on the track as well. So a lot of amazing producers on this joint. Like, he got some of the best out, and he produced like half the album himself. And yeah. And the singles that we have off of this album are Confetti, Keep the Devil Off, and Aux Cord. And I'm going to talk about this later, but I really want 1999 to become a single. I think that would be a great single choice. So those are the singles off the album. Okay, so jumping right into the album, I want to talk about the first track off the album called Big K.R.I.T. I thought that was an amazing introduction to the album. On this song, he's really talking about his demons. He's talking about his children and the legacy he wants to set for them and raising them. He's talking about his loyalty to being an independent artist now, and pretty much saying fuck all the labels, and pretty much he's pretty much putting all the artists up on game right now that y'all need to get away from these labels and just become independent. No matter how much you're selling, no matter no matter how well your machine is working, you need to go ahead and become independent if it can work for you, because that's where it's really at right now in terms of creative control, financial distribution to the artists. Big K.R.I.T is saying, listen, I'll cross to that side now, and this is the way y'all need to come through. I just thought this was a really great introduction to the album, talking about, he's really just popping his shit, and the flow is hard as hell, and he produced it, and he's just talking about talking about his come up as an artist, and talking about his creed as a rapper, and really talking about how his come up can be a good example to other people trying to come up as well, and how he's not proud of, like I said, becoming independent and now letting more of the money go to himself as an artist, and also being able to really create projects that he really can back and really believe in, because it's all through him. So I thought it was a great intro to the album. And yeah, like I said, I just thought he was really popping his shit about about how dope of a beatsmith he is, how dope of a rapper he is, how dope of a businessman he's becoming now. I just thought it was a great introduction to the album. He called it Big K.R.I.T because this is the introduction for the first side of the album, which is more of him, you know, talking about his alter ego side and really being Big K.R.I.T the rapper, as opposed to Justin Scott, the, you know, who he is as a man. So, you know, this song was a really great introduction to this side of the album. So I really like the song Confetti. That was the second song off the album. You know, the hook wasn't in your face like that, but I really thought it was sequenced in a dope way. And that song really made me feel some type of way. It really made me just like, I don't know. I've never really heard, I don't think I've heard a beat that hard from DJ Kemper before. So DJ Kemper did his thing on this song with the beat. It was a crazy beat. The drums were hard as hell. And I was just proud of DJ Kemper because this song really made me feel some type of way. Like I said, the hook wasn't in your face, but it really was arranged well. So I think it's a good single choice. It hasn't really popped off like that, but I love this song. Okay, one of my low-key favorite tracks off the album is a song called Big Bank with T.I. I just love that song. It's probably like the first like real like hard Southern track on the album. It was and T.I.'s verse was so dope. He was pretty much talking about how, you know, he has responsibilities as a father and as a husband, but how all those responsibilities have driven him to like make crazy money, and now that's, you know, that's why his family's living mad fly now. And I just thought his verse was so dope. Go check out T.I.'s verse on Big Bang. T.I.'s verse on that song was just so dope. The flow was crazy, and really, honestly, I just really miss like this kind of sound in hip-hop in the mainstream, like that really southern ATL, like hard-hitting drums, trap sound. I just feel like you don't really hear it in the mainstream no more like that. And when Big Bang came on, I was like, oh, I just miss this sound like in the 2000s. Like I feel like, you know, that sound really ran in the 2000s, and I just miss that sound in mainstream. I would love for this to become a single. I don't know if it will be, but it'll be a dope single choice. I love it. Okay, so one of the tracks I really want to talk about is track number 4, called Substension, My Sub 4. For those, you know, for Big K.R.I.T fans, y'all know he has multiple songs in his catalog right now called My Sub, short for subwoofer. And Big K.R.I.T is an artist who's big on like subwoofers and playing music in the car, and, you know, Cadillacs and, you know, Southern whips and stuff like that. So I was waiting to hear this song on the album. I was waiting for the sub track. I know I'm gonna hear mad songs about his subwoofer in this car because that is Big K.R.I.T and I'm here for it. So we finally heard it in track number 4, Substension, My Sub 4. It's the 4th sub track in Big K.R.I.T's catalog, and I love this track. That beat was hard as hell. Shout out to Manny Fresh, Super Mario, and Brian Michael Cox. You know, this is his 4th song, and I was waiting for it on the album, like I said. I thought it had a dope hook, and I just love the really dope beat change into the second part of the song. It went from like this really hard hitting, like, you know, subwoof song to like a more like mellow R&B breakdown towards the second part of the song. And the beat change was so slick, but it was so dope. Yeah, this song was lit. And you know, like I said, Big K.R.I.T just talking about riding his whip and blasting music in his whip, and it's funny to me how I feel like Big K.R.I.T can make a million songs about this one topic, and it'll like never get old. You know, Big K.R.I.T, it's almost like how Pusha T is always talking about dope, and like, you know, it never really gets old, or how Wiz is always talking about weed and never gets old. I feel like for Big K.R.I.T, this is his thing, like talking about subwoofers and whips and driving around in you know, Southern cars. Like, it's his thing, and I feel like I never get tired of hearing it from K.R.I.T. So this was that song on the album. There are many others, but this is the one song that I was really talking about on the album, and I thought it was really dope. I also love the electric guitar towards the end. I thought it was a great addition to the track. Definitely one of my favorites off the album for sure. Alright guys, yeah, the album really started off well. The next track I want to talk about is the track after that called 1999 with Lloyd. In my opinion, this song needs to be a radio single. To me, it's like it's ready to go. It hasn't been released yet, but I think it's one of the best choices. It's a really like mainstream R&B / hip hop song. Lloyd killed his feature. Lloyd, I love him. Another dope ATLian. Y'all motherfuckers sleeping on Lloyd. If y'all haven't heard Lloyd's last project, it was called True, and that whole EP was just lit. And y'all motherfuckers need to stop sleeping on Lloyd. Lloyd is back. He's been quiet, but he's back. He killed his feature on this song. It's a really big song. It has a dope hook. And you know, K.R.I.T's bars are like really like accessible in the song, so it can really work as a radio single. It was kind of like romantic and sexy. You know, every rapper like needs that kind of joint in the album. So this was one of those joints in the album, and it really could work as a single for that reason. Big K.R.I.T's flow was dope. I just really thought, you know, it was just cool to see like two ATLians just doing their thing. K.R.I.T with his dope bars, Lloyd with the great hook and feature, and I really just thought it had cool samples, like 90s samples. So it was just a great track. I could really see 1999 being a big hit. It needs to be released as a radio single. One of my favorites off the album. Okay, one of the songs I have to talk about off the album is the song called Aux Cord, track number 10 on the first disc of the album, produced by DJ Khalil. I love this song. This song was like a love letter. This was Big K.R.I.T's love letter to pretty much music in general, not just hip hop, but music, like all types of music. And I think he really gave a shout out to like old soul and R&B and jazz artists, and you know, I really love the way K.R.I.T really like referenced a lot of older artists throughout the song, and he really brought them up in clever ways. The wordplay on the song was dope. I just thought it's just a really clever way of like really kind of K.R.I.T showing his appreciation for like older artists who have really made iconic, legendary music, black music, and I really love like the vibey, like jazzy breakdown in the second part of the song. And it was just really ethereal. It was a really vibey, ethereal breakdown. And for me, like, this song spoke to me in terms of making me realize, like, I mean, I've always known this, but it kind of like reminded me that there's just so much beautiful black music that has been produced throughout the generations. And like, you know, Big K.R.I.T naming all the artists he was naming on Aux Cord was just like, oh wow, yeah, like there's so much beautiful black music that's been created that we still have at our disposal. You know, even my generation. You know, so at the end of the day, he was just really shouting out good music on the song and great legendary artists, and I salute him for that. You know, it's good to remind young people these days that there really have been generations of artists that have come before us who have really put out amazing music out there and have really put their stamp on black music in particular. So that was just a great track. Definitely one of the highlights for me off the album. Okay, so going into the second disc of the album, I want to talk about the track number 2 off the second disc called Mixed Messages. One of my instant favorite tracks off the album. I definitely want to highlight this one. To me, Mixed Messages is like one of the centerpieces of the album. It's definitely like one of the it's one of the central pieces in terms of its message and its delivery and what it's saying. I love how the song was so real, and it was just K.R.I.T talking about how he, as a man and as a rapper, he's constantly dealing with mixed messages in terms of how to put out his music, how to deal with his demons, you know, just different ways about living his life, and the different people coming into his life telling him different things, him dealing with figuring out what he should do for himself. I think that's something that everybody can relate to, and I know I just want to say, particularly as a black man, I think I really could relate to that song. And I feel like it really was just a showcase of really black men dealing with the constant struggles of kind of being pulled in so many different directions in terms of how to act, how to be, how to think, and this song really got to that concept in really dope ways. And I really think Big K.R.I.T is a great role model for someone, especially on this album. He has so many tracks that really just kind of showed his vulnerable side and really showed that not only the high life of what it is to be a rapper, not only the good side, the money, the fame, whatever, but also really the difficult parts of being a rapper and a big figure and a black man in, you know, in the music industry and in Hollywood and all that stuff. Like, there is a hard side to being in that world as a black man and as a rapper in particular. And you're dealing with so many impressions of who you are, dealing with how to, you know, change yourself, and dealing with all the things coming at you in terms of demons and influences and all that stuff. I can go on for days and days and days. But it really, to me, Mixed Message was one of the highlights of the album, a centerpiece, and really bringing that message about. And I feel like that was a consistent theme throughout the album, was really K.R.I.T coming to terms, coming face to face with the reality of the demons he's dealt with in his, you know, in his past years, you know, recently, and possibly in the future. And Mixed Messages for me was one of the best tracks that really did that. And it was one of the most relatable tracks to me. So Mixed Messages, that was a dope record. And the track after that, I also love too, called Keep the Devil Off. I watched the video for this song a couple weeks ago, and I thought the video was dope. It had like this young boy like dancing throughout like the streets of Compton, while also like kind of like being like he was like floating in air too. It was dope. But I really love this song. I love like the southern gospel influence and Keep the Devil Off. I love the organ riffs. It was just a really cool vibey track. Another great message about keeping the devil off and trying to wake up every day, learning how to live your best life and avoid all the demons that the devil can throw your way. So that was just a dope hip hop track. It's a single off the album. I hope it blows up. But even if it doesn't, definitely a hip hop gem for the year. One of my favorite, like, you know, jazzy, gospel-y hip hop tracks of the year. Okay, continuing on for the second disc, I have to talk about the track Price of Fame. Y'all, KRIT came with so many dope albums. I mean, songs this album. Like, there's so many just good songs talking about real shit. Like, yo, KRIT, people sleep on this man, yo. Oh my god. Alright, so now that I'm done standing out, Price of Fame, one of the best songs off the second disc of the album. This song, to me, you know, shout out to KRIT for really, like I said, highlighting the negative and also the real sides of celebrity and fame. And you know, if y'all have watched Big KRIT's Breakfast Club interview, which I did recently, he pretty much spent most of the interview talking about how he recently became sober and talking about all the demons he's been dealing with as a man, as a rapper throughout the past few years. And at the end of the day, honestly, like, a lot of artists need interviews to kind of like really talk about their real shit. But Big KRIT broke down everything going on in his life and throughout this whole album. And The Price of Fame to me was a highlight track, really highlighting where I think Big KRIT is at in terms of dealing with his celebrity as a rapper. And just kind of being cool with it, and kind of just acknowledging the fact that there's a price to fame, a negative price to fame, and a negative side to fame, and how he views it and how he deals with it. So I just really thought it was a dope track. Definitely one of the hardest tracks in the album. The beat was hard, and the message was so real, and I really I appreciated KRIT for really like just talking about his vulnerabilities and talking about and to just touching on the demons he deals with and faces as a rapper, you know. So Price of Fame was definitely one of the dopest tracks off the album, in my opinion. Okay, the last song I want to talk about in depth is a song called Drinking Sessions. That song featured Keon, Harold. Again, another one of Big KRIT's vices that he's been dealing with that I've not mentioned yet has been his drinking problem. He mentioned it on The Breakfast Club, and he pretty much talked about how he's been dealing with trying to lower his alcohol intake over the past few years and his battle with that. And this song really broke that down. It just broke down his story with his drinking problem. And this song has one of my favorite lyrics of the year, one of my favorite bars of the year. KRIT said, you know, everyone trying to die young, but who gonna talk about life? I heard that and I was like, KRIT, like, yo, that is so real. Everyone out here dying young, but who's gonna talk about life? And that might seem like a simple lyric at first, but when you really break that down, that's such a deep lyric. That's such a deep lyric. Everyone out here, especially like young black men out here gang banging in these streets, and just you know, just people in general. Like, a lot of people I think are not really. I'm not gonna say a lot of people are trying to die young, but sorry, that's my phone, yo. Not a lot of people, I'm not gonna say are out here trying to die young, but there's so many. I feel like there's just a lack of appreciation for getting older and also thinking about your life when you're older. I know I can relate to that because, you know, I plan to live old, and I want to live old, but at the end of the day, I'm not, as a 23-year-old, I'm not thinking all the time about, okay, what is my life gonna be like when I'm 33, or how do I plan to have my life, you know, planned out by the time I'm 43, 53, 63, whatever. Like, I don't think about my life like that throughout the decades that will come if I'm fortunate enough to live that long. So I just thought that was a great lyric that KRIT got out there in terms of talking about, especially in the black community. Like, we don't talk about living long besides talking about how great we look when we're old. Like, we don't talk about aspiring to really live a long life and also aspiring to plan out your life for a long time. Like, we just always are so caught up in the moment now, but especially as young people, we just want to live life now and be lit now, and I can relate to that. And I just thought that was a dope. That line caught me instantly. I was like, whoa, that's some real shit. KRIT said, everybody trying to die young, but who gonna talk about life? Like, oof. And he also broke it down in the Breakfast Club too, and he was talking about that. That was dope. Definitely one of my favorite bars of the year. So real, and I just love the rawness and the vulnerability of the track. And also, I thought what was a nice touch at the end was the sax at the end. That saxophone at the end was such a nice touch. I thought that was already my feelings. Listen to that shit. I was like, oh, then you gonna put the sax at the end? Really have me my feelings? Shit. But yeah, so that's one of my favorite tracks off the album. Drinking Sessions, definitely a highlight. Shout out to Big K.R.I.T for that lyric. Okay, so usually I talk about the tracks I don't like off an album when I'm doing my reviews. But I gotta be honest, this is crazy. I think ever since starting my new channel, this might be the first album where I don't have any tracks I don't like, and that's how good this album is. When I first heard the album, I listened to all my albums twice. When I first heard this album, I wasn't really feeling the track Layup that much. I didn't think it was that great, but after hearing it again, I was like, you know what, no, this is a vibe. This is a vibe. I like it. It's like, it's really breezy, southern, so I like that. I like that song. So really, I don't have any songs I don't like off the album. My first album since I've started my channel where that's the case, so salute Big K.R.I.T. This is a hip-hop masterpiece, y'all. So all in all, my thoughts about the album, I really love the southern sound on this album. You know, when you listen to a Big K.R.I.T album, you know he's from the South, and I love when the album really just, like, you don't even have to, like, really, you don't have to read a bio, you don't have to watch an interview. This is one of those albums where you really can just get Big K.R.I.T's story and who he is as an artist just from listening to the project. Like, you don't even need to research him. You just listen to the album and you'll know his story, from his southern sound, his southern drawl, his stories, the way he talks about, you know, subwoofers and cars and just southern life. You know, when I listen to the album, I'm like, you know what, I want to go back to Atlanta. Like, it doesn't make me feel like that. Like, and it just transports you to Atlanta. It transports you to that place, to that culture, to that vibe, to that sound. And, you know, shout out to Big K.R.I.T for being able to, I think, capture where he's from and his story with the album. He really did that well. I know, I just thought the vibes on this album were consistent. Big K.R.I.T is really consistent. But also, you can really also hear the UGK and I want to say Outkast influences throughout the album. I think those are two of his biggest influences, and you can really hear that. UGK was featured on the track, and I remember sometimes I feel like some of the outros reminded me of like Outkast tracks from the 90s. So I really loved that he incorporates that sound. You could tell that those people that really mean a lot to him, for a good reason. They're legends, and they really have influenced his sound as he's been coming up. So I love that. Oh yeah, so like I touched on pretty much before, this album was split into 2 discs. This was a double album. It seems like double albums are the rage of the industry these days. Everybody's putting out a double album, or at least albums that feel like double albums because of their length. Music Soul Child, Jhené Aiko, Chris Brown, now Big K.R.I.T. It just seems like everybody's putting out a double album these days. Like, people act like we really got time to sit down here. I mean, I do got time because I'm a reviewer and, you know, because I love music. But the average person does not have time to be sitting down to be listening to like a 20, 40 track album. But like, but no, honestly, even though this was a double album, it didn't really feel like it because the album just flowed so well from start to finish. The tracks just flowed so well into each other. It didn't feel like a long album. It really felt like a rewarding listen. But like I said, yeah, the album is 2 discs. The first disc, I think, was pretty much called Big K.R.I.T, and that side of the album was really talking more about, it really was coming from more of his rapper and alter ego side, the Big K.R.I.T side. He was really popping his shit. He was really braggadocious. It was more trap and southern influence, more like hardcore beats, and, you know, just him popping his shit. And the second disc for the album was more, it was called Justin Scott, and that was more of the stripped back, reflective, introspective side of the album. That side was more jazzy. It had more jazzy instrumentation. It was more laid back and mellow, and that side really tackled more of the heavy themes about him dealing with his demons and coming to face with who he is as a man. So yeah, both sides really both discs really complemented each other, and I think the themes throughout this album were just so clear. The beats were crazy, and it was just a really solid story. It really felt like an album where you were following the story from start to finish. And I just salute K.R.I.T for really, you know, taking his time to really make a good body of work. At the end of the day, to be honest, this thing, I don't know. the combination of the beats, the bars, the flows, the jazzy instrumentation, the messages, and the themes throughout this album, all that combined together, in my opinion, it just made a masterpiece. And this is one of my top 5 albums of the year so far, top 5 hip-hop albums of the year. Definitely got top 5 in my opinion. Let's see what else comes out throughout the rest of this month in December, but as of right now, this is definitely one of my top 5 hip-hop albums of the year. Just a dope album. And I also love the funny interludes on the album too. The interludes were the track number 9 on the first disc called Classic Interlude, and the Weekend Interlude, which is track number 7. Those interludes were mad funny, just just doing skits about like Southern people and the culture, and I loved it. They were funny as hell. So yeah, all in all, I think this album was amazing. I give this album a 4 out of 5. So I give this album a 4 out of 5, my highest rating so far. I'm not gonna give it a 5-star rating because I feel like that needs to be like a special type of thing. I can't give it a 5-star rating, but definitely close to perfection. This album is amazing. So I give it a 4.5 for my rating, okay? So yeah. Alrighty guys, so that's been my review for Big K.R.I.T's new album, Forever's a Mighty Long Time. I'd love to hear your thoughts about the album. Let me know what you thought about the album down in the comment section. I think it's a hip-hop masterpiece, but let me know your thoughts, okay? I want to hear what you think. Let me know if you liked the album, if you didn't like the album. Let me know what were your favorite tracks, what were your least favorite tracks. Let me know what you thought about my review as well. I'd love to hear feedback on what I said. And if you think I could do anything better, okay? I'm not going to break down my favorite and least favorite tracks off the album because, like I said, I don't really have any least favorite tracks, and there's so many amazing tracks on the album that I don't really want to highlight, like just some of them. So I'll leave you just with my rating, okay? But yeah, guys, I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Please like this video if you haven't already. Click that like button. Share this video. Stop playing with me. Share this video, all right? And subscribe to my channel, guys, okay? I appreciate it. So yeah, please, as always, guys, continue to live your best life. Drink more water. Stay woke. And if you're mad, man, go listen to your favorite song, okay? It'll make you feel better. All right. Thank you for watching, guys. This has been your boy Bright, the R&B Kid, and I am signing off.